Good evening and welcome to the V8's online coverage of the Sim Instruments Truck Racing Series, brought to you by Sim Instruments and V8's online superstore coming soon. I'm your host Mike Korolev and I'll be joining you for this final round of the Truck Series in what is the end of Season 4 2013, and joining me as usual in the commentary booth will be Anthony Kernich. Anthony, good evening, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this race, last one of the season, and Daytona. It's always exciting.
Should be an absolute cracker, I think. We've got one of those races. It's a night's race, of course, at Daytona. Always sets the mood, always fun and exciting, a little bit cooler. So the night series being cooler, obviously a little bit more grip available to the cars. How's the race going to play out, do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing two car drafts, and they've been prevalent through the tracks for a year now, so shouldn't be a surprise to see them again.
And always that element of strategy. It's certainly a different sort of a race here at these huge super speedways, but an element of luck always needed to come out on top here.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the last lap, as it usually does on these big super speedway tracks.
Certainly will. Not a real long race, so not a huge amount of strategy involved. Obviously, they're not going to need tyres or fuel, but certainly just positioning yourself to be there at the end is important. Avoiding the wrecks and that element of luck just to get you onto that those last couple of laps in the position is going to be what we're going to be absolutely waiting with bated breath to see. Let's have a look at our points list. Now, interesting here, Anthony, there are several drivers quite able to take a championship out tonight. And if we look at the 8 rounds that are counted out of the total 12, at the moment we see Nathan Britton sitting on top with 944 points. Only 51 behind him is Francis Dunnett. But Nathan's done 8 rounds. Now, that means anything he scores tonight has got to be better than something that he has already scored to move forward in points. However, Francis Dunnett, sitting in second place, only 51 points behind on 893, has only done 7 rounds, as has Jason Martin, who's a further 15 behind. So 51 points and 66 points behind, respectively. Anything these two guys score tonight, if they are competing, will certainly get them forward and could well see them take out the championship. So it's going to be certainly an interesting points battle there. Luke Betts, he's sitting in 4th place, but he has completed 8 rounds, as has Rob Hartley in 5th. Tim Jackson is the next driver only to have completed 7, but I feel the ask is obviously too big from the points from Luke down. So really, it's out of those top 3, and I think we're going to see a very, very, very interesting race when it comes to just who can pull off what in the points.
It all depends whether Martin and Dunnett do race. If they don't race, they can't score any points. So the championship's highly dependent on those two racing.
Yeah, for sure. It's certainly an interesting conundrum which will play out. We'll see who registers, who gets in there, and where they go and what they do. But I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll have a good crowd tonight. Daytona is one of those places that some people seem to, either they like racing here or they just don't because of the possibility of wrecks. But yeah, let's hope we get a good turnout. Now, for the viewers out there, we should just pass on that we thank Des Hallam for his assistance. He won't be able to stream with us any further. Sebastian has stepped in tonight to do that for us, which is fantastic. But this being the last round of the Sim Instruments Truck Series, there won't be any more oval racing of the trucks telecast, and that's all I can say. There are plans afoot, but we'll ask you as the viewer to just keep an eye on the V8's online website and at Facebook, and hopefully we'll have some new and exciting announcements coming up in the next season, but those plans aren't finalised yet, so we just sort of can't say anything in particular. But in any case, so just making all the viewers aware there, this will be the last truck televised race for Sim Instruments. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. Anthony, racing here and the strategy of it, where do you want to place yourself early in the race, and just how do you want to run through your race?
Well, there's 2 places you can start. You can either start right at the front and stay there, or right at the back. I would probably want to stay at the front for this one. It's a short race and it's hard to move forward quickly. I'd want to stay towards the front and hopefully avoid the trouble if it does take place, and be there at the end.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Is starting from the pit lane any sort of strategy in these short races, considering there's probably going to be a yellow? Is it worth starting there?
No, because if the yellow doesn't come, you're going to lose the pack and you'll never catch them up. Especially if you're by yourself, you go a lap down about 10 laps, and you don't really want to start with the pits.
I suppose it's a gamble, isn't it? But then again, if anyone's going to go that way, although it is a big gamble, it could well pay off. We'll see if anyone wants to play that game tonight. If anyone's going to gamble it, but yeah, it should be interesting. Anyway, we've got our track preview up. The circuit there, Daytona, just located in Daytona Beach, Florida. Very, very historic race circuit. There's an air of racing about here, isn't it? Just everybody loves it.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular tracks for NASCAR racing. They do oval racing, road racing, and they've recently taken in short track racing on this place. So it's pretty much anything and everything races at this place.
And we've got our normal Daytona festivals coming up in the real world as well as in sim racing too. So that's going to be some exciting stuff to watch with the 2.4 and then the Daytona 500 coming up at the end of February. So let's have a look. Tonight we've got Keith Sarafa sitting on pole position with Nathan Britton right behind him on the outside of row 1. So he's definitely here tonight. That's good to see. Ian Ford and Stuart Vaughan are going to be filling out the second row with Rob Hartley and Michael Schreier on row 3. Martin Carroll, Sam Sutton, Luke Betts, he's back there, but he can certainly move forward in the points tonight, along with Bailey Bell, Wayne Seaburke, to get that correct, Simon Walker, Dean O'Brien, and Chris Brooks rounds out the 14 cars tonight. Anthony, would that be a full amount, or do we have a split?
Yeah, I believe we split by location. I was viewing the splits, and I believe there is an American split taking place. So it's split the Aussies 3 times, and we've got a short field. But interestingly, Dunnett and Martin haven't raced, so congratulations to Nathan Britton on securing the championship.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it, really? But from the point of view that we were, not that Nathan won it, let's not get down that path, but and the fact that, we were all set for a tantalising race, but nevertheless, I think we're still going to have a good race because we've got some quick guys in there. Ian Ford, he'll be running multi-21. Nathan Britton for the Demidov crew, and I note in the forums they've been recruiting, so it'll be interesting to see what new drivers pop up in the mix there for the next season, that's for sure. So, we should be coming very close to a race start quite soon, and yeah, should be exciting. Alright, as we wait for the cars to grid up. Nice setting this circuit, I think, and certainly the iRacing graphics look quite good with the late setting sun. It's good to look to race on. Cars take the grid now.
Yeah, I've talked to Francis and Jason in the past, and they aren't the greatest fan of this style of racing, so I'm not surprised to see them absent from the field.
Bit of a shame, but nevertheless, I think we're going to have a good race. And certainly we'll watch out for guys like Wayne Seaburke and Luke Betts from the back of the field. Those guys are always going to try and work their way through. Simon Walker, another good oval racer, all steady and quite quick. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. We should have some guys come through the grid, I think.
And we've got an even number, so we should have 7 groups of 2 together.
Roll out on the warm-up lap now.
And this is a terribly long pace lap, so plenty of time for the guys to get lined up and sort anything out they need to. Sure, we're going to have some deals done to see who's working with who.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? What teammates do we have in here? I don't think we've got Michael Schreier and Ian Ford, I believe. Yeah, Ian Ford's the 10 car, 7 car Michael Schreier, and the number 12 car Sam Sutton looks like he's in there too. So, oh, hang on, number 2 car Wayne C. Burke, and the number 13 car Dean O'Brien. So don't be surprised if we see those guys pair up and work their way to the front. And it'll be interesting to see how they play out their strategy against the likes of guys like Keith Safera and Nathan Britton, perhaps even Stuart Vaughan. Let's see what they do at the start, hey? And we roll into turn 3, lights are off on the pace car, and Keith Safera has the pace and the right to start whenever he chooses. Let's see if he jumps early.
There's probably no advantage for him to go early without a partner. He'll get caught up very quickly. This is one track where it's impossible to pull away, so look for him to sort of hold and then see if he can get a partner. He might try and work with Ford here with them lined up one behind the other, so we'll see how it goes.
Pace car comes in, and we are racing at Daytona. Even start, doesn't go too early.
It's going to take a lap for these cars to get up to speed, so it's always very exciting starts to these races as everyone's struggling for speed. So it looks like we've got Ford pushing Zarafa already as we expected, and looks like Britain's getting some help from Stuart Vaughan.
Yeah, it hasn't really worked out well for him though, has it? Nathan's dropped back a little bit. I'd say that took him a little bit of time to hook up with Stuart. So at the moment, down the back straight into turn 3, Keith Zarafa, and
looks like Simon Walker's lost the draft. He's about half a second behind the fielder. Unless someone of the guys at the back slows down and pick him up, he's going to be out of the race before it's barely started, unless there's a yellow.
Yeah, that's
the danger of the super speedway, especially this style of racing. You can't really do anything by yourself, which is unfortunate for people who have speed and no one wants to work with them.
Caught napping at the start, do you think?
Yeah, he might have missed a gear or just been slow away. He did start from the rear, so yeah, he might have been slow away and had to lift off the throttle. He'll lose about 2 seconds a lap, so it's unfortunate for him.
So Vaughan and Britton have made up the ground that they lost on the first lap. They've now certainly moved their way on the high line or the outside line to bring themselves back up into contention, and we're starting to see the cars double up now. How's temperature going to affect this drafting issue?
Yeah, they don't run any tape on the trucks, but they can only go about 2 laps pushing the guy before they have to switch. As Stuart Vaughan's now up on the high side by himself, and we're now 3 wide. As Wayne Burke's trying to hook up with Britton here. This might be intentional. Vaughan's got to be careful he doesn't lose this draft. It's very, very easy to do with this style.
Looks like somebody up the back there's ducked out to pick him up. Car number... Can I see that? Car number 11. So that's Bailey Bell.
So we got trouble in the tri-oval. We've Sam Sutton's made contact with Stuart Vaughan. We got a caution. That was a very strange incident. Lucky for Simon Walker, he got through that.
That's certainly a little bit of a get out of jail free card for Simon, that's for sure, because otherwise he was in an awful lot of trouble. Let's look at the race report replay now on board with Sam Sutton.
Yeah, that was a strange incident. He's just come up the track into him. He hasn't been helped. He didn't look like he got in the apron. They did make contact a couple of seconds earlier, but I don't think that was related. He's going to be out of the race.
I got a feeling he's actually had a little bit of a wiggle there. He's just gotten 2 wheels down onto the yellow line. Might have made him get loose just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very strange incident, that one. You don't see that very often. Let's put the 11 of Bailey Bell out of the race too. They're going to have major damage. Simon Walker, though, is the beneficiary from that. He's now caught back up to the pack.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get caught out again. But yeah, I don't think he will. I think he'd be awake this time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he certainly wouldn't want to repeat that.
Have you had a look at Bailey Bell's car? Is it damaged?
Yeah, I believe it's got
seems
some
to be, yeah.
some back. He did hit the wall side on, so it might have knocked his toe out.
Yeah, he's got damage on the right rear corner and looks like the right side of the car as well.
Might not be too bad. Sam Sutton, though, is definitely out of contention. He's got major damage. Stuart Vaughan's probably got some damage too.
Well, they've stayed out. Just wondering if they'll drop in and try and pick up some repairs while we're under caution.
Yeah, these caution laps are very long, so you can get quite a bit of repairs done in 2 minutes at a time. So there's nothing to lose for them pitting. Hard to believe they haven't.
So we're under caution at this point. Let's have a look and just see who's leading it. And they've stayed out. Keith Zarafa has led every lap so far. Nathan Britton back up to second place when the caution came out. Ian Ford sitting in third. Oh, that's wrong. How about we go down this list? Keith Zarafa first place. Ian Ford is second. Nathan Britton is third, so that's still not a bad position for him. He'll be on the inside of the start. Row 2, Rob Hartley got himself up into fourth position. Wayne C. Burke moved up from fifth, so that's a good rise up through the field for him. Along with Dean O'Brien, they were working together, so they've certainly done a good job to get themselves up into contention and sitting there on the third row. Martin Carroll and Michael Schreier are next, so look for Schreier to hook up with Burke and O'Brien. And we have Luke Betts, Chris Brooks, Stuart Vaughan, Simon Walker. Sam Sutton's still out, damage to the car, but one thinks that's going to drop him off the pace. I dare say he won't be able to hold the draft, even if he's right behind Simon Walker at the start. And Bailey Bell will probably suffer the same fate, so look to see those two guys drop back. Thoughts there, Anthony?
Yeah, low damage cars will take a while to get up to speed, so that'll be their major issue. Guys at the front won't be too affected by the yellow. Simon Walker, though, will be very, very happy. He's gone back up to the pack.
He certainly would have to be, because he was looking at going a lap down in not too distant future at that point before that yellow came out. He was certainly dropping off the pace a lot without the draft. So we're on lap 6, still under caution, rolling around Daytona night.
So we got one to green this time by, and no one was let up down. Yeah, lights are out on the pace car, so we'll be going green next time around. With Nathan Britton in third, he might look to work with the leader here and try and build a margin.
It certainly would be advantageous to do that, because he can keep himself in second position basically from that spot and make the guys have to run the high line to go around them, as long as he can rely on Keith Zarafa to hold it down low. But Keith's done a good job so far. Not always at the front, that's for sure, in the oval racing, but good showing tonight.
Yeah, I believe he's been had some success on these super speedway tracks. He's obviously this style of track does suit some people, and he seems to be one of them. He qualified on the pole and has led the whole race up to this point.
I think we'll see him definitely lead away, and at least lead the next lap. And as we roll around on lap 7, halfway up the back straight, getting ourselves into a nice line of 2x2s. Zarafa and Ford will be on the front row. Britton, Hartley next. And Rob Hartley's a quiet achiever there. He's just ticking away. He's a good oval racer, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he'll be looking to start at the front and hopefully avoid any trouble if it does happen to take place. And as I said earlier, be there at the end. This is a short race, so there's not a lot of time to be riding around at the back. You want to be making moves quickly.
Certainly is. Lap 7 of 25, so we're just about getting to 1/3 distance, as they'll be starting lap 8 at the restart.
Yeah, so we're already almost at halfway, so laps go by pretty quick when it stays green. We're going about 47 seconds for a lap.
As we enter the tri-oval now, pace car's in.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag. And Zarafa gets away well.
Yep.
Bit of a slow start.
Britton
there
oddly is
from
not
Ford.
behind him right at that green flag. So we got a little bit of tossing in the middle of the field, and Rob Hartley's been turned. That was a very stupid incident, really. Dean O'Brien, I don't know what he was trying to achieve there. He's tried to go for a gap and just, yeah, that's...
What it hasn't
Very
done, though, it
bad
hasn't
judgment.
brought out the caution, so that's going to hurt Rob Hartley. There's just,
Yes, and no yellow.
yeah, it spread the field out too. So let's see what they
And
can
Rob
do.
Hartley has got significant damage, I'm hearing. He's out of the race, so terrible luck for him. That's one of crazy incident. And one thing it has done is broken up his field.
It certainly has. They're well spread out too. Britain and Zarafa made hay while the sun shone. They pulled themselves a nice end there. Almost half a second in third place.
Yeah, Britton looked to push here and get a gap where they can swap and not lose a lot of time and be caught back up.
Could be interesting though with Wayne Seaburke and Ian Ford. They've got themselves all in line now. Martin Carroll's dropped in, as is Dean O'Brien, and Luke Betts at the back of them. They're a pack of 5 chasing, and then there's a bit of a gap back. But I got the feeling those guys are going to work together quite well. They may well haul themselves back up onto this lead pair, depending on how well Nathan can push Keith at this point. Should be interesting to watch.
Yes, and we got 2 distinct groups behind the leaders. I got five trucks from 3rd to 7, and then 8th to 11th, 8th to 12th is also in the line. So
Yeah,
yeah, that restart incident has definitely spread this field apart.
Well, Schreier and Vaughan now have just pulled themselves out a little bit. They're looking to bridge the gap up to Luke Betts, and they've pulled away from Simon Walker, who has Sam Sutton behind him. I don't know how well that tandem pairing is going to go, but if Simon has anything to do about it, he may get him in line and keep him going. They may catch themselves up.
So the leaders are caught up again. Luke Betts is correction. Wayne Burke is almost into the lead here with a big push. Yes, he has taken the lead. The big help there from Ian Ford.
And that's really happened to the changeover, hasn't it? They've got themselves going quite well, and they lead. Nice tandem work there.
Yeah, the Britton and Zarafa are currently split up, which is not going to help their cause. So Ian Ford now is cleared, so we now have a new tandem at the front.
Carroll sitting just back behind them with Dean O'Brien and Luke Betts forming up to make another 3-car pairing. Interesting. Burke and Ford have been able to drop down in front of Zarafa and Britton and now lead the race and control the pace.
Yeah, interesting to see if this Martin Carroll group can catch up, as Rob Hartley's come out of the pit lane and luckily he stayed below the double yellow line.
Doesn't look straight to me, Anthony.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down and out of contention. He's just going to probably go around till his engine blows up and see if he can pick up any spots if they wreck.
Bit of a shame because he was running well in the championship. That's probably going to hurt his chances.
Yes, and Martin Carroll's now caught up to the leaders, so we've now got 6 cars fighting for the lead here at Daytona. And Luke Betts is now caught on, and Stuart Vaughan, so the pack's now completely closed up.
It has, and car 13, Dean O'Brien, has dropped down to the low line and basically left his tandem partner out to dry. Although Luke Betts has jumped up behind him, so he's tagged onto the outside line now behind Martin Carroll. So let's see what these 2 guys can do.
Yes, and the Simon Walker tandem with Sam Sutton is also closing up. So it looks like Chris Brooks has lost the draft, number 14, so unfortunate for him. But looks like we've got 11 trucks all together, pretty much, with 11 laps remaining.
Betts has pushed Carroll to the lead. Let's see if he can stay there for as they
Yeah,
cross the strike.
O'Brien. No, Burke's been pushed back to the lead. So that move by Carroll didn't last too long. It's actually quite hard here to push in the middle and top lane. You haven't got those lane lines you have at Talladega as reference, so it's quite difficult to make moves here. And it is narrower.
Sorry, mate. Zarafa and Britain have separated, and they're in danger of actually dropping back and losing positions. They seem to have closed up in the back straight with the draft,
Yes.
but
And Simon Walker's now joined this pack. He's pushed Sam Sutton, who's keeping up with that damage that he sustained. Walker's now back into contention. So it's quite a tight pack of cars here.
so as they cross the line, Burke from forward, Zarafa, Carroll, Betts, Britton, O'Brien, Sutton and Walker, with Vaughan rounding out the top 10. Still plenty of action to happen on lap 15. We've got 9 laps to go. Let's see, here we go. Betts pushing Carroll. Good effort from Wayne Burke, really. 10 spots. That's got to be a good drive for him for the night.
Yeah, making up spots at these style of track isn't the hardest thing. You can come from the back quite easily here and win races.
Anthony, I'm noting Zarafa and Britton just aren't pushing or working as a tandem, and it's dropping them back down the back straights. It's even opening a gap almost large enough for Carroll and Betts to drop into, get down onto the lower line and slot in between in behind the 2 leaders.
Yeah, I think Britton isn't wanting to push at this stage. Obviously, with his championship clinch, he doesn't need to do anything silly to get points. We've got Simon Walker by himself up top, trying to make use of it. Looks like he's might get to the front here in not too long. He's caught up to the pack, and now he's right in contention.
Certainly, if Sutton can just get onto his tail, although it might be hard with the damage on the back of that car, if he can get onto his tail and just give him a little bit of aero assistance, he'll latch onto the back of Luke Betts, and we'll see Simon Walker in the mix for a good position.
Yeah, he might pick up a better slot behind Britton here. Dean O'Brien did clip the apron a bit through the tri-oval. So it looks like Wayne Burke's held the lead for a while here. It's got a little bit of jostling.
Yep, Zarafa and Britton go high. What's Carroll and Betts going to do? They're going to stay high as well, which is going to leave an open path for Dean O'Brien to just slot up and form a multi-21 three-way pack.
Yes, this is working nicely too for Simon Walker once again. He's now on the low side, and with these guys racing in front of him, he can get right behind him and put himself. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come through and take the win here. He might need a miracle, but it's not out of the question the way he's been driving.
It's not, although I've got to say, Wayne Burke is a very, very hard pilot to beat when he gets out in front. He holds his line well, he drives straight, and really all he needs is for Ian Ford to sit right behind him, being a teammate, and they can certainly do a good job. Although Zarafa out front, out of line, he's come back up.
So we've had some trouble at the back of the pack. Sam Sutton's tagged the wall and has now lost the draft, so his race is effectively over. He's got Mike Australia pushing him, but they're too far behind to catch up. But Simon Walker's now again up on this high side. If he could just get a little bit of help, he can push himself right. He can get himself right up to the front.
I'm wondering if he and Martin Carroll can hook up. Martin Carroll's quite a good draft partner if you can get a hook up with him. I've been in a race with him, and he's certainly a gun runner and quite good at being the number 2 in a pushing duel. Looks like he's lost draft though. He's going to have to drop back to the back of the pack behind Stuart Vaughan, slot in, get some pace, and keep going. Although it looks like Luke Betts has gone high to pick him up.
So I believe we're going to come upon the 11 of Bailey Bell in the next 4 laps. So we're going to have a bit of traffic to contend with right at the end of this race.
Well, they've dealt with they've dealt with Rob Hartley, and he did a good job just sitting up high, letting everyone slot through. So good on you, Rob. Good driving there. Didn't affect any of the race, but it certainly shuffled the pack around a little bit now.
So we've got most of the field single file now. Simon Walker's going to try and hook up here with Dean and see if he can do something. I think they're all just riding and waiting for the last couple of laps here. So we've got a huge run on the outside here with Luke Betts and Carroll. They might push themselves all the way up to the front if they can make it work.
Well, by the look of them, they've got it nice and straight. Sitting close in tuck behind, they've already got up to the back of 6th and 5th position, and with good pace, they can push themselves right up to the front. Here they come.
Here they come, yeah. Awesome move. And so Bailey Bell's now only about 3 seconds in front of these guys, so if these guys are aware of the traffic, they know they want to get down to the bottom. They do not want to be 3 wide with traffic.
It's about to get very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got just over 4 laps to go, so not a lot of time. If the yellow does happen to fly now, this race will end, so these guys know that, and they've got to make their moves quickly now. The traffic is now going up towards the wall. We'll let these guys go. Got to be careful here that he doesn't come down on him.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, he's hit the wall, but take that away.
So what do you do here, Anthony, if you're Nathan Britton? You're leading the championship. You really can't be beaten for it. Do you go for broke and go for the win?
Yeah, I'd like to see him to win, sort of complete the championship with a W here at Daytona. It's always nice to win at this track, whether it's the oval or the road course. So we've got Wayne Burke's moved out of line to switch up to the high side.
Betts has jumped down, and Carroll hasn't been able to get in. But
So Ian Ford's having some internet issues at the moment. This could create some difficulties.
Oh, absolutely. Can't see. Oh,
there's trouble on the back straight.
There's the accident. Oh, well, that's the end of it. We saw him flashing in and out there, then all of a sudden he appeared inside the number 2 car of Wayne C. Burke. So, yep. Oh, that's a shame.
Kind of a disappointing conclusion, but
yeah, very much so,
happen.
isn't it? Still, you've got to hand it to Keith Zarafa and Nathan Britton. I really didn't think they were going to produce the goods there, but they have. Fantastic stuff for them.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see Britton go for the win, or Cosmo and the guy who got the back to go, but obviously not to be.
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimax to the race, nevertheless. Keith Zarafa, that's got to be a fantastic win for him, and something nice to take away from the end of the season. Nathan Britton, congratulations on taking out the championship. Driven well and consistently all season. A little bit aggressive on a few occasions, but he's always been up there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent, and that's the key to these championships: is get the points every week, and you'll be there at the end of it.
Now, has Luke Betts pulled off 3rd place, or is it Wayne C. Burke? Was he in 3rd place? It was hard to tell going up the back straight. We should probably go back and have a look at that just to see. But at the moment, the timing says Wayne Burke, so looks like Wayne's just been far enough ahead to keep 3rd position. So he rounds out the podium. Bit unlucky for Luke there. He certainly was in a position with Dean O'Brien to slot into that low lane and close up behind Zarafa and Britton.
This is the Phil comes across to take the white flag. We've got 2.5 minutes of pacing before the race reaches its conclusion.
Yeah, a bit of an anticlimax, but nevertheless, good racing, good pack racing, and really tight stuff. Really, they had one incident during the race, so that's a pretty good result for Daytona. Who have we got off the background there? Ian Ford. Ian Ford is driving down the road like a crab.
Yeah, the internet issues put him head on into the wall. He's actually lucky not to blow his engine, but he's going to finish the race. But
oh, race ain't over yet.
obviously not.
No, you're luck in the big swing.
Very straight.
Wow, that's a bent car. So how'd we go for the most positions made there, Anthony? Wayne Burke and who else made it to made what, 8 spots? Dean O'Brien. Shame for Ian Ford and Rob Hartley. Obviously, they're the losers out of this one. They've gone back 8 and 9 positions respectively. But nevertheless, Keith Zarafa, man from Wollongong, bringing home the win. Nathan Britton, the man from Newcastle, bringing home the championship and P2. Wayne Burke, top finisher for Multi-21 tonight. They've just had a good, strong season, haven't they, overall? They've always turned out in numbers and really a good showing from the boys there.
Yeah, they had quite a few cars attempting each race and finished pretty consistently, so they've ended up taking many of the top spots in the championship.
Certainly have. They've had some good races all around too. They've got a good spread of drivers, which has got to be very, very good for oval racing in general. In that you've got guys like, you know, Wayne C. Burke, you've got Dean O'Brien, Michael Schreier, all quick runners who are able to help other guys and work them up through the field with their knowledge and expertise.
It's nice to see some guys moving across from the roadside and giving the ovals a crack. It's always looking for more Aussie guys to take it on, and it's good to see.
For sure it is. Bit of a shame for Rob Hartley, Bailey Bell. Those boys unfortunately lost out on the incidents. Real shame. So let's run through the top 10 once again. Zarafa, Britton, Betts, Walker, O'Brien, from Carroll, Sutton, Schreier, Vaughan, and Ian Ford.
As I believe we've had some trouble right at the end of the race here. Wayne Burke's ended up with a black flag. Britton stopped before the line, and Burke's passed him and got a black flag for passing under yellow, so he's moved from 3rd back to 12th. So that's a rather silly conclusion for Wayne.
Bit of controversy there. I think we'll see something in the forums about that, that's for sure. Wonder why Nathan did that.
Yeah, it's very, very, very odd. Wayne's only beaten him to the line by tyre width, but obviously the iRacing system has given him a black flag, which is rather disappointing for Wayne.
So we might get a replay up of that and just have a look and see what happened. Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
bit
what's
of drama,
happened?
bit of drama at the end of this race. It's rather silly.
Rather bizarre, isn't it? Nathan slowed himself right down below the double white lines.
I don't
Wayne's
know why
just
you
rolled
would
through.
slow down. Usually you cross the line and then slow down. It's really odd.
Bit of controversy there for the championship winner. So he slowed down, come over the line. Wayne's just run through, and he's actually crossed the line. The 3rd place car crossed the line before 2nd place. In Nathan's haste to do burnouts, he's cost Wayne C. Burke 3rd place officially.
Yeah, it's put into the tail end of the lead lap cars. Yes, it's showing him in 12th place. It's a bit of drama here to finish things off.
Just to finish off the season. What do you reckon? A bit of a Tony Stewart moment? We see some helmets thrown in pit lane?
Yeah, I don't think Wayne's going to be terribly happy with that. You don't normally see that sort of stuff.
And Nathan's not exactly accepting. He has apologised, but he's certainly not really accepting all the blame for it. So, well, this is going to make it interesting for next season, isn't it?
yeah, obviously it's a bit of a rather disappointing end for Wayne, but he'll be back in next season and
For
for
sure.
a bit of fun.
Let's hope we see him in there again next season, because he's certainly one of those quick runners. And from the beginning of the season, if he has some good luck, he's got a good shot at the championship from the Australian club perspective. That's for sure. Well, Anthony, it's been fantastic in my first season as commentary. I really enjoyed it. I hope I've entertained the people at home. I'd like to thank V8sonline boys for asking me to take on the commentary spot. I've certainly enjoyed doing it, and in the future I may well take it up again. Thank you for your expert advice and comments throughout the season. It's been fantastic working with you.
Yeah, it's been a good season. Pretty good racing. A bit of accidents and incidents along the way, and shame to see the broadcast go into a bit of a hiatus, but hopefully we'll be back in the future.
Yeah, look, I think we will. It's just one of those things at the moment. It's a logistics problem more so than anything else. Certainly the will there is from the V8sonline crew to bring oval racing to the Australian public, and there are moves afoot that still may happen, but obviously nothing can be confirmed or denied at the moment. You might see an announcement pop up with the short shift boys. I'm sure Jack Kennedy likes to keep everybody in the loop with the goss, as he usually does. So keep an eye out for that. But as far as the iRacing Sim Instruments Truck Series goes, we would like to thank you all for tuning in this season, and hopefully we will see you back in some form one way or the other next season. So from Anthony Kermit and myself, Mike Korolev, and we'd like to thank Des Hallam and Sebastian Murray-Westberg, it is good night.